Welcome back, guys, to Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutors Gambit, where last episode, Bodied Harmer Canis surprisingly arrived on scene and started to tell us about the past and the young pup that had helped him out in return for assistance he had previously received. Learning that the sons of Artie Frost and Carmelo Gusto were at the orphanage, we unraveled the mystery of who the assassin was communicating with during correspondence chats, with an intermediary being the mastermind pulling the strings through all of our turnabouts, Simeon Saint, as Edgeworth starts to explain it all to those present in a roundabout way. The monster commanded by the architect of this whole scheme. She looks happy about it. Monster? You're finally ready to admit it, that he's dang well real, the big bad bull himself. Objection! No, because that isn't Taurosaurus at all. It's the eye of a different giant beast entirely. Take a look at this if you would. The very big circus flyer. Oh wait, look! You see it, the enormous lion balloon. That's the real monster. And the sound that Miss Lloyd thought was the creature breathing fire. I just suddenly got a pause there because I'm like, surely he wouldn't be allowed to take a balloon for a city like this at the height that it was, possibly able to crash. And a balloon is maneuvered by going up and down. The wind might just take it into the building. It might have completely early crashed during that night. What? The sound Miss Lloyd thought was the creature breathing fire. Ah, oh, come on. You're really going to bring me crashing down to Earth like that? I'm amazed the balloon didn't come crashing down to Earth. That's how balloons fly, huh? They've burned gas to make hot air. They do, and our culprit was able to use that balloon to carry Kay up to the roof of the big building without ever going near the elevator. So this culprit, they've got something to do with the circus. Circus worker, friend of the Bronxster, son of Gusto. Whoa. You're not serious. You forgot to mention trainee animal tamer. It's hard to believe. The puppet was actually the one pulling the strings. But he's the one who's been pulling the strings this whole time. That's right. Simeon Saint is the one behind all of this. Simeon? But everything? Really? I don't believe you. We trusted him, and he trusted us. You can't tell me that was all lies. That would be too horrible. I'm sorry, Kay. Who was that? Hey, where do you think you're going, old man? Nothing escapes you, does it, young pup? Why, congratulations, Mr. Edgeworth. But now that I know the truth, my business here is done. What? No, Mr. Canis, wait! Ah! Damn it, he disappeared! Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, I'm fine. But... damn you! Are you alright, Sean? He killed my dad. He did, right? There's no easy way to say it, but... sorry, Sean. It would appear that he did. He won't get away with it. I'll make him pay. Somehow, some way, I'll... Overruled. No, Sean! You mustn't say such things. I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. You'll have to forgive us both. I'll just put the call out, sir. All units are on the lookout for Mr. Canis. I don't mean to hurry everybody, but we better be on our way too. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, where do you think we'll find our mastermind? I suppose you're right. We should go after the mastermind right now. He said he had to practice for the show, which I guess means he'll be at the circus. But before we leave, there's something I'd like to ask of you, Agent Lang. There is? What? Once a beast has been sighted, the next step is to plan its capture. When we arrive, there's something we'll need to try and find as a matter of priority. And Detective, I'd like you to look into something that's been bothering me about Sean's kidnapping. Yes, sir! I want help too, Mr. Edgeworth. Good. There's somebody I'd like you to try and contact. If Saint really is our mastermind, we're going to need this person's help. Between our many encounters, I never suspected a thing, even though he was right there in front of me. I messed up. There's no other way of putting it, but I'm going to put things right once and for all. Oh, if I knew it was to be continued that soon after, maybe we would have continued on to an extra long episode last time. But we have to end sometimes because we never know how long things might run on for. We're leaving here and we're going to the circus. Who are we calling extra? Well, either a SWAT team or someone else who has a vested interest in this case. Because while now Bodhidharma Canis knows who he's been contacting, who he's been talking with, who's been going on, they have like a mutually beneficial relationship, don't they? Who's to say that Canis is going to just let us take Simeon Saint? And that's the problem, isn't it? So maybe a frontal assault will work. So at 5:30 p.m., we have headed over to the very big circus, Big Top. Oh, hi, Mr. Edgeworth. Did you guys come to watch the show? Hello, Miss Barry, Mr. Saint. You're a little early, I'm afraid. We're still practicing. But I'm glad you kept your promise. Yes, I remembered you giving me this. That's so great. You're going to have so much fun. I think even you'll be surprised, Mr. Edgeworth. I think you've surprised me enough for one day already. What are you talking about? Would you mind looking at this photograph, Miss Barry? That's the eye painted on the balloon you used to advertise the circus, correct? Oh, yeah. What is this exactly? I have a strong suspicion that the balloon was used by the criminal we've been looking for. You do? Who's usually in charge of the balloon, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, that would be Simeon. But wait, you don't mean... Mr. Saint, you took the balloon out late the other night, didn't you? Sure, I was practicing. I'm still pretty bad at flying it, so I needed to put in some extra hours. So bad I ended up in the city and nearly crashed into a building. Alibi? At night, when it would have been even more difficult than usual. A strange time to decide to practice. But why else would I have taken the balloon out? What are you saying? That you weren't practicing at all. You were taking an unconscious K to the top of the big building. In order to frame her for the murder of Rosie Ringer. You say he landed there? And no one noticed? The security cameras never recorded Kay taking the elevator up to the roof, which means she must have gotten there another way, from the sky. And the only person able to make that happen would have been you. But, Mr. Edgeworth, I don't understand. That's not all you did. You also attacked Sean at the garbage disposal area, drugged him, and carried him away. That's why you were late for the hearing at the courthouse, wasn't it? I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're talking about. Why would I do any of those things? Please, you have to believe me. I never, ever, ever do anything like that. I wish I could believe you, but I can't. Any trust I had in you is being completely destroyed. That's horrible. Why would you say that? You told me back at the jail. You said you believed I was innocent. You don't have to worry about that. We're friends. We know what it's like to be in your shoes. We're all part of the same club after all. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Unfortunately so, I'm afraid. Thank you for sharing such personal details with us. By the sound of it, you had little reason to kill Knight. If anything, you're the one most affected by his passing. And what's more, I simply don't believe a person as gentle as you is capable of murder. Rest assured, we believe you. And we will get you out of here. This is just awful. I never thought you'd lie to me. We didn't lie. I swear, Simeon, You said you knew what it was like to be me. I trusted you. That hurts, Kay. It hurts so much. I'm... Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. This is Simeon we're talking about. He's not a bad person.
Objection!
I see it now. That's your strategy, isn't it? With everybody. You root out their psychological weaknesses and exploit them. And without even realizing it, they wind up doing exactly what you want them to. Exactly the behavior one would expect from the arch manipulator behind all of our recent troubles. I was too blind to see it before, but you won't fool me again. Simeon Saint, you are guilty of crimes too numerous to mention. Oh, so that's how you want to play it, huh? You always did have the courage of your convictions, I guess. Luckily, grinding people's self-belief in the dust is kind of a hobby of mine. Well done, all of you. Well, this is certainly a side of him we haven't seen before. So much for the trainee animal tamer who wouldn't hurt to fly. I guess that was all an act. But I'm glad we're finally getting to meet the real you. Well, he's really good at his job, though. Simeon, this can't be true, can it? He looks so cool now. Truth, lies, what does it matter? Huh? All you need to know is that Mr. Edgeworth here has made me very mad indeed. And now, he's going to pay. He's got style, he's got grace. I was just out of practice. I was just out practicing, despite the fact I dropped the facade. Sure, I went up in the balloon a couple of nights ago, but I was just practicing. I guess somebody took that picture when I flew by the big building. I fly around the area doing promo stuff for the circus all the time. Nothing to see here, Miles? Nothing at all. First name basis, eh? So, you go up in the balloon reasonably often? Yeah, promoting the circus, like I said. Is that true, Miss Barry? Well, it's true that it's Simeon's job to go up in the balloon and spread the word. I guess just about everybody in the area would have seen him up there by now. Well, that same balloon was used in the commission of a crime. Nonsense! I just happened to be in the area where it happened. Somebody took a picture when I was floating past the big building. That's all. I'll be the judge of whether you just happened to be nearby, thank you very much. Sure, I went up in the balloon a couple of nights ago, but I was just practicing.
Hold it!
This balloon, do you usually launch it from here at the circus? No, you need a wide open space. There's a park over by Sunshine Coliseum. That's where I usually take off from. I see. And how do you get the balloon to the park to launch it? Not by hand, that's for sure. That thing must weigh a few £100. It's kind of impressive that it could even get off of the ground now that I think about it. I'd prefer it if you didn't change the subject. How do you transport the balloon? Wow, give a guy a break, will ya? It's not like I was getting miles off track. Sheesh. We use a truck, okay? Just load it on the back and away you go. A truck, you say? Yeah, last time I took it out would have been 2 days ago. That could be important. I'd better keep it in mind. The last time I took the balloon out on the truck would have been then, the day before last.
Hold it!
So just to confirm, the truck hasn't been anywhere else since then. Why would you need to confirm that? I just told you, didn't I? Answer the question. Or are you trying to avoid this one too? Oh, that was a cheap shot even for you. If I say something, you don't need to confirm it, because I just said it. See how that works? But since you insist, the truck's been parked out back since the day before last. And the balloon was still loaded on the back, basket and all. Now explain to me why that even matters. Not right now. I think I'll just thank you for giving me a straight answer for once and leave it there. So he means to insist that the truck has been parked here since 2 days ago. I think you might have let more slip there than you realize, Mr. Saint. Are you done? Alright, as I was saying, I guess somebody took that picture when I flew by the big building. By the way, the previous statement's probably an important one for us. Truck movement after all, a mysterious truck, etc.
Hold it!
So you're saying you just happened to fly past somebody with a camera too? Oh, I get it. I'm starting to understand how you think, Miles. Next you say something like, there's no way that was a coincidence, right? And it's down the slippery slope to there's no such thing as coincidences. Now there's a scary thought. That's not what Mr. Edgeworth was saying at all. Why can't you just... Don't play into his hands, Kay. He's deliberately trying to frustrate us. He's hoping that by needling us, he'll be able to avoid the question. And why do you think he'd be trying to do that? Because he's a clown? No, because he's got something to hide. Precisely. So we can't let up. We have to stay on the offensive. But we have to remain calm while doing so. Gotcha. Hey, Simeon. This highly capable prosecutor assistant has a question for you. Are you trying to tell us you just happened to fly past the big building? He's right, you know. I wasn't going to answer. But you're so bad at this, Kay, I guess I'd better throw you a bone. I fly around the area doing promo stuff for the circus all the time.
Hold it!
You're in charge of both the promotional work the balloon is used for and the balloon itself. Is that correct? You don't believe a word I say, do you? But it's true. Ask the boss. Right, boss? Yep, Simeon's in charge of keeping it clean and making sure it's all working properly and everything. I don't think anybody ever even touches it except for him. Not lately, anyhow. Interesting. I think we can safely say he was in the balloon when it was photographed the other night. But if he's our mastermind, there are parts of his plan he would have had to carry out today too. Perhaps we need to dig into those a little more. Why the big silence? It's not like this is tricky stuff to process. There was a balloon, it was flying through the sky, like balloons do, and a story. Nothing to see here, Miles? Nothing at all.
Hold it!
Is that so? Not only were you flying at night, multiple crimes were committed on that same evening. And you expect me to believe that there's nothing to see, as you put it. Are you trying to provoke me, Miles? It's not very nice, you know, starting fights with people. I'm a clown. We're all about smiles, not frowns. He's certainly skilled at steering the conversation away from the topic at hand. But that's not going to help him. I just have to stay on the attack. We don't know a whole lot about this balloon just yet. I think we should try and learn a little more about it. Right, it's probably going to be statement 2 here. The last time I took the balloon out on the truck would have been then, the day before last. However, of course, we have a truck that's been doing the rounds and, oh my goodness. You look at it now and you're like, yeah, that's a whole balloon. It's parked in front of the big building earlier, so that's a lie. But, it's a whole balloon.
Objection!
This truck, it wouldn't happen to be blue by any chance. Huh? So what if it is? We happened to see a blue truck ourselves just today. One with a large basket loaded on the back. If that was the truck you told us about, then your statement about it not having moved in 2 days is a lie. We got Emma here. Agent Lang. Emma! There you are, Mr. Edgeworth. At last. I've been trying to find you ever since we wrapped up the case yesterday. Kay sent me a message saying you were here, so I came right away. And I found what you asked me to go look for. It was loaded onto a truck in the parking lot out back. A blue truck. The Lion Hot Air Balloon. Saint is in charge of it, drives around the back of a truck. Well, well. I think that truck might be the one we saw earlier today. In fact, I'm almost certain of it.
Objection!
What? Just because it's blue? Like a million other trucks? What makes you so sure it's the exact same one? I think you'll find that white vans are the more popular one. No, I saw it too. It's the same one for sure.
Objection!
What's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? That wasn't me. Worthless are the words of a man who can't back up his claims with evidence. Wow, you sound just like him. Show me. I demand proof. I must be able to prove it somehow. It's the same truck, I'm sure of it. You can do voices too. Huh? What are you doing, Mr. Edgeworth? Why are you touching the truck? Oh, wow! The engine's cold, which means it's been here for a while, so we can prove it's the same truck by looking for fingerprints on the bonnet. No way! You could tell just from that. Of my fingerprints. And it's an option here. Metal detector would go off everywhere. I'd like to have the truck dusted for fingerprints. Huh? Why would you want to do that? Because I expect to find a certain very specific set of prints. And if I do, that will prove beyond all doubt that it's the truck we saw in front of the big building. Whose prints will prove it was the truck we saw? Literally me! Yours. You think you're gonna find your own prints on there? I do, because I put my hand on your truck when I saw it in front of the big building. Let's see what we can find, shall we? Emma, could you lend us your scientific skills one more time? That's why I'm here. One moment, please. Alrighty, take it away, Mr. Edgeworth. Me? Of course. Who else did you think was going to do it? Don't worry, it's easy. I'll show you how. Fine, although I don't see why you can't do it yourself. I ordered you to. So just spread the powder over the area you want to search for prints, like this. Blop. Moving the... Oh, I can't blow. Moving the cursor around and pressing X will allow me to dust the area with powder. It sticks to fingerprints, so once you've found one, make sure to dump plenty on there. And then blow away the excess. No, playing it all remastered and not on the original console. 3DS. With your cool mics and stuff, damn it. And blow it away. Yeah, with your mouth. Like that. That's not how you blow. You go... Blown with triangle should remove any excess powder. Alright, you got all that? Yes, thank you. Now to try it for real. How dare you not have some kind of blowing device PS5 controller? Oh, there's no such thing as too much powder, by the way. Go crazy. Well, it might give me this. Just let me dump it on. It would be simpler and more effective if you just let me blow everywhere and... That's it. That's a nice clean print you got there. Can we compare it to my prints right away? Yep, leave it to be. All those headphone users getting blown in their ears. I'm sorry. That confirms it. It's Mr. Edgeworth's print, all right. And with that, another lie is exposed. So what were you doing in the truck? Meow. Oh, just driving around. For fun, you know?
Objection!
Kay was abducted 2 nights ago. And your balloon was sighted nearby. And today, another abduction, this time involving a truck supposedly used to transport garbage. And your truck was sighted nearby.
Objection!
Coincidence, nothing more. You want me to believe that you were near the scene of 2 separate abductions simply by chance. Just be honest, you were involved in both. What makes you think they were even connected?
Objection!
A certain very important piece of evidence. That's what. Oh, this should be good. What connects Kay and Sean's abductions? Oh yeah. Kay liked the jingle for it. Used on both Kay and Sean during their kidnapping. Brand name is Freezies.
Take that!
Kay was drugged with a dose of a powerful sedative, and a bottle of sedative was found right where Sean was being held captive. The very same brand, no less.
Objection!
I knew you'd try something like this. So the same sedative was used. So what? Does that mean everything's connected? You know as well as I do, that doesn't prove anything for sure. We must have something. There must be a piece of evidence that can tie him to both crimes. Cops, prosecutors, you, Miles, you're all the same at the end of the day. You force the evidence to fit the crime, or you flat out make it up, just as long as somebody goes to jail. You're no different from a certain other evidence tamperer we've had the misfortune of meeting.
Objection!
No, I'm nothing like him.
Objection!
Then show me. Hit me with your killer piece of evidence. You must have one, right? It's no use. We don't have anything that can tie him directly to both kidnappings. Okay, you're about done there, Miles. No more cheap shots left to fire. Great. We'll have a show to be rehearsing for, so if you don't mind.
Objection!
Hey, come on now, you two. There's no need to get all hot under the collar. Wouldn't want your good looks running down your face now, would we, Simeon, old pal? What are you sticking your nose in for? Well, I just sense the vibe getting a little harsh and heavy, yeah? Thought I would lighten the mood. Help me out, okay? Lift our spirits with a little dose of the old great thief magic. You don't have to tell me twice. Okay, let me see. I can do Simeon's voice. Here goes. Objection! What are you? Take this seriously, will you? Thought you could do with somebody running a little interference for you, Master. Not the most ethical approach, I know, but again. Okay, again! We can worry about whether or not this is the right thing to do later. This is my last chance to try and prove a connection between Mr. Saint and his crimes. Let's forget the kidnappings for now. Is there anything else to suggest that he is our mastermind? The fact that he was the go-between, maybe? Yes, Belle. Of course, the thing we literally just went over like half an hour ago. Canis was looking for our secret string puller too. The young pup, as he called him. That was more like 40 minutes. If I could prove that Mr. Saint was that same young pup, then perhaps... But what evidence do I have that might point to him being involved behind the scenes? Oh, come on. Literally the thing we just went on to. Letter from Canis retyped by the Mastermind, then sent on to Bronco Knight.
Take that!
We just talked about this. I think you and Mr. Knight were both communicating with this person, Mr. Canis. And that same person might well be our secret string puller. That's right. Our Mastermind was involved in Canis and Knight's correspondence chess exchanges. If I can prove that Mr. Saint was the hidden intermediary between the two of them. Alright, that's enough. This is getting painful. You don't have anything, and I have to practice for the show, so if you don't mind...
Objection!
Thank you, Mr. Fender. I can take it from here, and I can't take any more of your interventions. Oh, just look at that face. Yeah, I like it. Miles Orino's back in the game for sure. I'm Simeon, the funny clown. Look at me. I'm, juggling. Okay, you can stop now. Please. Mr. Saint, you're a fan of chess, I take it. Huh? Where did that come from? Chess? Sure. I don't hate it. Our secret string puller was playing correspondence chess with Mr. Canis.
Objection!
I thought Bronco was the one playing chess with Canis. You're saying he was your so-called mastermind?
Objection!
No, it wasn't him. Whoever it was went on manipulating events even after Knight's death. Take a look at this letter if you would. Who do you think could have written it? I believe it was the person who had inserted themselves between Mr. Canis and Knight. And you think that person was me? Why would I go to all that trouble? That's crazy! To make it appear that the two men were connected and communicating directly with one another. The very fact that led Fifi Lagarde to murder him. What? You're saying he set that up to try and get Mr. Knight killed?
Objection!
Listen to yourself. What do you think I am? Some kind of evil puppet master? Yes, yes, yes. You see me? I can barely even get the animals to do what I want. What? You're able to use a cat as an armrest and it's fine with it. That is the ultimate in taming. If we could find one of the letters he passed between Knight and Canis, that would prove the connection beyond a doubt. I'd like to have your room searched. I believe we might find...
Objection.
That's not gonna fly. Les, you won't. Trust me. What? Once I'm done with something, I put it straight in the trash. Guess I'm not the sentimental type. Why get hung up on the past, right? He must have disposed of any incriminating items in order to cover his tracks. Guess you went in without the evidence you needed once again, huh? That's a bad habit, you know. So this doesn't prove anything either. We've fallen short yet again. What do we do now? Are we out of options? Excuse me, Edgeworth, you're kind of falling for the no or no, just nah. Like nah, no but, no you. That's the kind of defense we're up against at the moment. Didn't work, don't care. That's just because I know we need to get a rise out of him to break him, but as long as he just keeps doing that, you need to ratify your things with yourself and with everyone, not constantly rely on this guy. What do we do now? Are we out of options? You accuse me of betraying my friend. You don't even have any proof. You're despicable. Who was that? Someone else is interjecting now? Oh, hi. Miss Berry, what does she want? Sorry, it's just, I was thinking about what you were saying, and this night person. You mean Bronco, right? Simeon's friend? Yes, what of it? Does she know something? A letter came from him this morning. For Simeon. What? What did you... How is that possible? Knight is dead. Miss Berry, we need to see this letter right away. Sure. Here you go. Let's open it up, shall we? Are we loud? It's another correspondence chest letter. So here's my next move. Pawn to G6. Can anybody else smell checkmate? Can't wait to see your face when you lose, but you were never going to beat me at not a chess. Okay. So this makes it sound like Bronco was only playing against Simeon. The next move from the game with Mr. Canis. Can anybody else smell checkmate? Can't wait to see your face when you lose. But you were never going to beat me. Not at chess. It's postmarked the 26th of March, the day before Knight died. I guess it must have gotten held up en route. Oh, we do move around a lot. It's part of being a traveling circus. Our mail arrives late all the time. Interesting this is addressed directly to you, Mr. Saint. This is it, isn't it? The proof we needed that you were the one facilitating Mr. Canis and Knight's games. One of the letters you would have transcribed into Braille, in order to create the illusion that they were somehow connected. Curse you, Bronco, you're still getting my way even now? I hate you! I hate you! Simeon, how could you? Mr. Knight was your only friend. Ha! We weren't friends. I stopped thinking he was my friend 18 years ago. Right around the time of the IS-7 incident, in other words. I nearly froze to death because of him. I was just about to head out and meet my dad at the contest. But then, Bronco showed up. He pinned me down and tied me up. He was crying the whole time, whining on and on. I'm sorry, but my dad says I have to do this. And if I don't do what he says, he's so scary. Stop it, Bronco, stop it. I have to go meet my dad, I promise. If I'm not there to taste his candy for him, he'll be so upset. He needs me. If I don't go, he won't be able to show everybody he's the best in the world. But no, he locked me in that car with him, and the two of us nearly died. He thought he could get out, but when he tried the door, it was frozen shut. We were trapped. And that's how I lost my dad. What? You lost your dad? Yeah, Bronco's dad killed mine. He was the son of a murderer. What does he mean? That doesn't match up with what we know at all. Simeon, the victim in the IS-7 incident was a guy named Artie Frost. Yeah, that was my dad's name. My memories got kind of scrambled that day. What little I remembered was pretty mixed up. So I didn't find out until later that my dad was murdered. The murderer was a man named Carmelo Gusto, a confectioner. Really? I never knew Bronco's father's name. Or maybe I chose not to remember. Just thinking about the sicko that killed my dad turns my stomach. Mr. Saint, are you sure you didn't know the name of the murderer until just now? A pointed and poignant question. Because Mr. Saint has no clue what went on. He thinks his dad was murdered, where his dad's actually alive and it was Bronco's dad that was murdered. You're the son of a murderer. Oh my god, get it twisted. Get it twisted just a little bit much, but still, we are here in front of the Mastermind, as we so put it. What will happen next time? Are we near the end of our case? We anywhere near collaring him? Not really, it feels like, but we'll find out next time on Ace Attorney Investigations 2 Prosecutors Gambit. Until then, I say bye-bye.